What is up guys, my name is Jack Gardiner. I hope you enjoyed that little short demo track there. All the guitars on that track were essentially this new plugin by Neural DSP. This is the Omega Ampworks Granophyre. I think this sounds wicked. It's a little bit different from the Archetype plugins, but no less cool. I still think this sounds really nice. So yeah, at the minute you can actually grab, I think it's more than a 14-day free trial. I believe they've extended it in light of the current situation. So if you do want to experiment with these tones, please do head over. The link is in the description. Before we take a more in-depth look into this track though, I do want to say please do leave a like, leave a comment, let me know if I should finish that track, turn it into a full tune, and don't forget to subscribe, clicking that little bell for notifications. So yeah, thanks again guys, let's go in and look in depth at what this plugin is capable of. Let's go over that way. So guys, first of all, I just want to walk you through the plugin layout and what each little thing does, essentially, the different panels. So here we are in the amp section. Now with this plugin, it is just one amp. It's this Omega Ampworks Granophyre, but it is a really cool amp. So I mean, it's quite straightforward. We've got a gain control, low gain, high gain. Then it's just REQ, bass, middle, treble, level, master. This is a voice switch. This just kind of changes how the mid frequencies respond really, and then depth and detail, I guess they're kind of like presence and whatnot there. The cool thing about this one though is we have the option to change out our tubes. So you have the 6L6, which I guess is more like the American style, you know, a little bit cleaner, takes longer to break up. Then you have the EL34s, which are more like, I guess, what you'd find in a British amp, like a Marshall based thing. And they're more typical, they break up a little bit easier. It's a different mid-range characteristic as well. And then you have the KT66, which I'm not massively familiar with. To me it sounds really kind of scooped in the mid-range. It's a little bit different, still really cool though. Down here on the left then, we have a tuner, which I believe has been added to all of the Neural DSP plugins recently. That's just a wicked little addition, it saves you having to use something else. And then we also have MIDI mapping, so you can assign that to wherever you want if you want to use that. In front of the amp this time we have one pedal. This is the Plumes Overdrive by Earthquaker Devices. This sounds really wicked. There's 3 different modes on there, or you know, different tonal varieties I guess. I use this in front of the amp on quite a few tones actually. We'll see later on how that sounds. I think it sounds really wicked. It gives a totally different tonal characteristic to the amp. Then moving along, we've got a 9-band EQ. This is kind of, if you're familiar with all the Neural DSP stuff, you will have seen this before. I think every single plugin has one of these. They are just great for fine tweaking your EQ. You know, you can basically just change the tone just subtly. If there's certain things you don't want in there, or there's certain things you want more of a characteristic of, you can do that quite easily through this 9-band EQ. And finally we have the cabinet section and the mic section. So there are a ton of impulse responses already built into this plugin. Of course you can use your own custom ones if you want, but you know, they are based off, say, like there's a 57 down to like the Royer Ribbon 121. I'm actually using on this preset a mix of those two. That's a very common thing in the real world, I guess, when you're making up cabinets. But yeah, I mean, it just sounds wicked. There's loads, actually. Even though this is kind of more straightforward in the sense that there's only one amp, there's still a ton of tweakability in there. It's worth noting, for all of these sounds that you're going to hear, I am just using a stock logic, reverb and delay, just so you can see them there. So there's the reverb which I'm using, and then the delay which I'm going to use is this one. Just so I can kind of present it in a more kind of useful way. This is how I would use these tones, you know. It can be a little bit unforgiving without reverb and delay. Still sounds great in a mix, of course, but yeah, for the sake of these playing examples, I'm going to leave that on throughout. So let's take a look then. The first preset I've made, I've called this amp style low gain. You can kind of guess what this is meant to sound like then. So let's take a listen. There I am using the 6L6s and the gain is way down. There's no pedal in front, I don't think, on this preset, no. So this is just kind of like how a natural sounding amp would, I guess, saturate. Yeah, it sounds wicked. But moving on then, what else have I got in here? So, here is kind of like a crunchy spank, I've called this. This is one of the presets that you've heard in that track at the beginning. So this time I'm actually using the KT66. It's more of a, I guess, scoop sound. You'll hear it now. So yeah, it's still kind of low gain, there's not too much going on there. I do think I have the pedal in front though. Yeah, so I mean, let's just hear comparatively what that's like without the pedal. It's kind of clean, it's on like the edge of breakup, if you like. But yeah, with that in front of it, that's where we're getting all the tone from, really. One more time. Wicked sound. Now let's move on then. So, yeah, that's the same on the crunchy spank without a gate, but let's try this one. I've called this Dead Dirty Blues. So, I'm sure you can imagine what this is supposed to sound like. So what's going on there then? So essentially, yeah, it's the same thing. We've got the overdrive before the amp, it's just in a different mode now. I mean, without that, let's just hear the amp. There's hardly anything actually going on there. If we just check the amp then for a second, the gain is right the way down. It's at a low as well. I've kind of boosted the mids in this one, I guess, and the voice switcher down, so that's more towards, I think, the lower mids that it's pushing. Yeah, I mean, you can hear then it's all from the pedal, really. It's that Plumes by Earthquaker Devices giving us all the tone there. If we roll down the volume, you can hear it kind of responds quite nicely. Moving on then, so the final preset I've made here is this one, the Spanky Lead. So I guess really this has a bit more top end. I've boosted the depth and detail just, I guess, to saturate the amp a bit more. And I'm using EL34s. Again, I have the distortion pedal in front. I really love mode 3 on this. It seems to sound the nicest in terms of voicings. So yeah, let's just hear what that sounds like then. So yeah, this one has a little bit more gain. We are on the high gain setting. I'm still actually not using a gate though. It doesn't really bother me. It sounds cool. I want all the dynamics in there really. If I'm going to hit soft, I want that to come through. Let's just hear what that sounds like then. Perfect for that kind of shreddy, liquidy type sound. I really, really like this, but it's got enough spank in there for me. It's cool. Let's just hear though, if we roll it down then the volume, it should react quite similar to the other patch from before. Really cool. So I think really if you are after kind of a more high gain amp, or if you're looking for a bit more of a dirty kind of blues sound, then this is one you should definitely check out. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think they actually have extended their trial at the minute, so you can play around with these sounds for, I think it's 4 weeks now, not just the usual 14 days. So be sure to check out then the Omega Ampworks Granophyre by Neural DSP.